Hello, and thank you for clicking on this conversation with Susanna and I about our twin flame relationship. We've kind of found ourselves with a name from reading a Rumi poem that used the word Sohbet within it, and the words struck a chord, if you will, with us, and we searched the meaning to it. And the definition of Sohbet was
continual spiritual conversation. The interesting thing is that in Turkish, it's the bridge between the two languages of English and Turkish, that really a paragraph of English describes one word. And it was interesting when we looked at one Turkish word, which is Sohbet in this case, and it had this whole paragraph definition of this one word, but for basically it's just a continual spiritual dialogue, and that's how we always feel we interact with each other. Yeah,
and that's where we first felt our connection, our twin flame connection, was in our spiritual dialogue with each other that we found became very easy to enter. And as soon as we were around each other, we always felt that we were within a spiritual dialogue, even with words not being spoken. And there we started to learn what it was to be, and learn to understand who we are, which are we are of each other, of the same soul, and we complete each other in human form, if you will. So it's how we discovered what our twin flame connection was, and what it encompassed, and how it started to feel, and what it felt like.
Yep. And we both come from painful relationships, and we just connected in a way that, Jeff and I have known each other actually for 25 years. Jeff's known me since I was, what was it? Like 1.5?
5. Well, yeah, since 1.
1, yeah, but he's known me since I was about 4. And
there's a 15-year difference in our ages.
Yeah, I'm 29 and Jeff is
44.
So we've
known each other obviously for many years, and have known each other obviously through the whole spectrum of our growing up. Definitely I've known her through most of her spectrum of growing up, but with large gaps where we didn't have contact with each other and didn't know each other, and probably be the same time periods as you didn't really know me during my middle childhood and teenage years as well.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't actually reconnect until about 4 years ago. And everything, it became clear of what our connection was, that it was more than just a friendship or just a normal relationship. It was something deeper that neither of us had ever felt with any of our other previous partners.
But a depth that we'd always felt that was possible, and felt that we were destined for. And when we acknowledged those feelings towards each other, just that almost essentially asking one another if we were feeling the same thing. We could both tell we were, but we were almost asking, are you ready to ignite this flame that we know exists, and are we ready for that? And because as soon as we did ask each other and accept that, it was a connection and a desire to be together that does not stop. And it doesn't recognize any obstacle to prevent itself from being connected.
Exactly.
It's a magnetism that you don't, your life doesn't have its fullest meaning if you're not with that person. And that's an unstoppable, determined desire. So it was, for us to come together was an epic battle for us to be together. It was an epic challenge, physically, mentally, in every aspect. Being in other relationships at the time, and obviously children being involved, magnifies that challenge and brought it to its epic standing.
Exactly.
And we very much earned the price. We paid the price. We earned the right to be together, and that in itself holds amazing respect and gratitude and faith in its power, belief in its true essence, its true reality, its true place in this world. This creation of Twin Flame coming together at this time is needed in this world, and more people finding their twin flames can profoundly change this world, because when you come together with your twin flame, your world is complete. Mm-hmm. And you move from a center of completion, and everything that you know, desire, love, dreamed of your whole life, that never would quite reach its full potential. Now with your twin flame, it reaches that potential and goes far beyond it.
It increases every day. We discover new things every day that we connect on, that on another level altogether. We make sure that we don't have any kinds of feelings of animosity, that there's no seeds of those things to build on, that we create a wall, like so many what we've experienced with other relationships. And the funny thing is that it's not actually, many people say, oh well, relationships are work, and it's not work for us. We do it effortlessly. When I say that we have to make sure that we don't have any seeds of animosity, really, that all just comes naturally. We don't actually have to even think about, oh well, we better get this before it becomes something bigger. It just naturally happens where we take care of it without even having to consciously make that decision to sit down and take care of it or talk about it.
Yeah, we don't have to communicate about it, as in a sense that, as a couple now, we're entering a moment of compromise, or
Yeah.
understanding that one person has his ways and the other has her ways. That doesn't exist in the twin flame. We cherish the fullness within each other, and if there feels like an energy that's pushing our love away from each other, we go after what that energy is and what that emotion is, as as in a position that neither one of us owns it as being one person or the other, or being the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's, why do we feel this way? Why does this feel this way? And we search that out and understand it. And it's always a moment of information,
Mm-hmm.
of how much more there is to each other, how much more love and how much more of a world is within us that we just stepped into.
Indeed. Yeah. And then the work that we read, by different people, but mostly by Suzanne and Robert, and what Suzanne writes, all of her, well, my mother. It always feels weird calling her by her name. The words that she writes seem to, whenever Jeff and I read them in the point of time, even when we are encountering something that is hard, just raising 5 children and dealing with the fact that we love each other so much that we don't want to take any time away from each other, and I mean, even going to work, the basic things seem almost agonizing sometimes, and just reading my mother's words helps with that. It speaks to us on a level that is almost as if it's a twin flame language,
Mm-hmm.
that it was written for whatever we're going through in that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like as instantaneous as it just sets it right. It feels, whatever we're feeling it's okay to feel that in the moment, and that, we move through it
Mm-hmm.
like water.
Mm-hmm. Well, when we came together, we were both asked to be, each ourselves asked, that we were ready to open our lives totally and 100% to the will of the divine,
Mm-hmm.
because the will of the divine matched our wills.
Mm-hmm.
And so opening to that allowed us to have a world to come together in.
Yeah.
And within that understanding, you already open yourself up to the pathway of the divine. that pathway of information that you are seeking to better your life.
And thinking about all of this again, it just makes me realize that we were so brave in doing all of this, coming together, and really in the society that we live in now, it's, looked upon as people that want to be together all the time and never leave each other's sight, as codependent or relying too much on another person to exist. But really, when it comes to twin flames, it's a whole other ballgame, if you will. That there's no rules, there's no restrictions, and like you said, it's just, everything opens up, and we're able to go down the path of the divine. And we're able to reach it on another level.
And being together, physically close to each other, heals each other.
Mm-hmm.
We feed ourselves, we energize ourselves by being together. And when our jobs take us away from each other, or when I have to go leave her to do my job, I'm essentially going on battery power. And as each hour goes by, my percentage, drops, and I have to be back to her as soon as I can to refuel. and something small like that is another physical and mental recognition of the existence of the twin flame. And if you open to the belief of twin flame, then you are also open to the belief of the divine, and they are coincided, and that is your path, and the path is more profound and has more potential than you ever could imagine or dream of. It gives you the potential to be great. It gives you the opportunity each morning to create greatness and be great in whatever it is you do, because together you move from a love. It is, what's the word, people can feel it, people see it as you move, as we communicate and as we're about town.
It's our radiance.
It's a radiance.
We radiate it. You can sense it as we walk in. It's in our aura. It's whatever word you want to use, but it's a glow.
And we hope that glow is desirable of others. We hope that when they see that others are asking within themselves, I want that. I want my twin flame. I want to be with the other part of myself. I want to complete myself.
And I believe it's out there.
I believe it's out there.
It gives, I think it does give like we were just saying, it gives hope. And it also lets people know that, don't just settle for something if you feel that you want more.
Then there is more out there.
Exactly. If you feel content and happy, then there's no need. But if you can feel this yearning, this pull for someone or something.
Well, if you know that, if you're positioned now that you're having to even remotely go to the word compromise with the partner you have, then there's more that you desire, and there's probably more that person desires. So don't stand in each other's way of allowing that to come about, because within your twin flame there is no compromise. It's a completion, and that there's no substitute. There's no compromise for completion.
No.
In every sense of your existence becomes fuller. And it's a choice that we wanted for ourselves.
We both knew that we were destined for something else all through our lives. We could feel it within everything we did. But we both had this yearning, this emptiness. And no matter what we did or who we were with, it didn't seem to make that feeling stop. And then we found each other, and then it was as if that feeling had never existed. I couldn't even tell you what it feels like to feel that anymore. And the support that we have from our community just makes that even brighter. It makes our flame even brighter, the support of them. We're able to truly see what we are and who we are, and be everything that we've ever dreamed of for each other.
In our daily beingness together and how we are with each other, and how we express ourselves to each other, and how we love each other throughout the day is visible to our children.
Mm-hmm.
And we obviously treasure that we are able to give that to them, and they can see what is possible, what is possible. That in itself is a wonderful, trusting thing to see and know as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And Susanna got to see that as a child, and I got to see that as a young man. And her mom and Robert, that kind of love, that kind of connection, that kind of completion within two people is possible. And so we knew what we were searching for. So now to be able to give that to our children, and then for them to be able to see it in their grandparents, is an amazing gift that we're able to give them, and for them to move from as they grow older, and just start to discover relationships of their own, and what they, in their search for their twin flame. And hopefully they won't waste the time in settling for potential stand-ins until they find theirs, because that's merely all it is. It's a mere stand-in that you hope fulfills that shoes, and until you find the one, they're just not going to fill it, and it's not to their fault. It's
the way it is.
It's just the way it is. They don't belong. When you do find the one that belongs, there's no question. There's no doubt.
Nope. Then and it's like Jeff said, that it's amazing for the kids to see that radiance every day, and also it makes us be better parents to be with each other. We complement each other so well with just the way we are with them. Our twin flame spills over into who we are as parents, and it makes us even more powerful with that as well. Well, obviously this won't be our last conversation about being twin flames, since we live and breathe it every day. But I think that is quite enough for now, don't you think? Hunter?
Good place to end our very first one.
Yes,
first conversation.
I think
on
so.
it.
Yeah. So we'll talk to you guys next time.